Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Types, composition, and properties of soil. Soil formation is greatly controlled by 5 major factors, which are the climatic factors, the parent materials, the topography, the biotic factors, and time. Elements of climate such as rainfall, temperature, wind, and pressure are all very important in soil formation. Parent materials constitute the major materials from which soil is formed. They are the igneous, the sedimentary, and the metamorphic rocks. Parent materials determine the chemical composition of the soil that is formed. It also contains different minerals which account for differences in the fertility of the soil formed from each of the different types. Parent materials determine the physical characteristics of the soil. Hardness of parent material affects the rate of soil formation. In topography, as we know, this is the shape of the ground in relation to the underlying rock of the earth's surface. Topography affects the rate of runoff and erosion. Steep slopes encourage erosion and retard soil formation. Soil formation is faster in the valley than slopes. Steepness of the slope affects the rate of abrasion of rocks. Therefore, soil is formed. Talking about how the biotic or living organisms control the soil formation. Here, the activities of living organisms help to speed up the process of soil formation. The termite, earthworm, rodent mix the mineral and organic matter together, and this results in the formation of soil. They also allow water and air into the soil, which eventually reacts with rocks to cause their breakdown into soil. Time also plays an important role in soil formation. It takes a long time for small pieces of rock to disintegrate into grains of soil. It also takes a long time for plants to decay and become part of the soil. It also takes time for rainfall to leach chlorides, sulfates, and carbonates from the soil. Time also determines whether or not the soil is well developed. It takes a short time in the formation of immature soil. Processes of soil formation. The process of soil formation is called weathering. Weathering is defined as the disintegration of rocks into tiny pieces to form soil. The processes include physical process, chemical process, and biological process. The physical process includes temperature, wind, water, ice, and pressure, while the agents of chemical soil formation includes solution, carbonation, hydration, hydrolysis, oxidation. Bicarbonation, atmospheric carbon dioxide mixes with rainwater to form weak carbonic acid. This acid dissolves rocks, resulting in their breakdown. Solution occurs when water dissolves and soluble minerals present in the rock are carried from place to place while water flows. Hydration is the attachment of water with rock minerals. This results in chemical alteration of the minerals. Hydrolysis. This is the reaction of water with rock minerals to produce a rock entirely different from the original one. For example, olivine rock is changed to serpentine. Oxidation is the reaction of rocks with oxygen from the atmosphere. This reaction eventually weakens and breaks down the rock to form soil. Biological processes. Biological processes involves the activities of plants and animals in the breaking down of rocks to form soil. It is caused by the action of animals like earthworms, termites, and other soil organisms. Movements of these organisms cause small fragments of rocks to disintegrate. Earthworms and termites burrow into the rocks and break off fragments of rocks. The roots of growing plants penetrate rocks through crevices, exerting pressures which split some rocks. The activities of man during farm operations, such as plowing and harrowing, also break down rocks into tiny pieces. The soil is composed of 5 components, which are inorganic matter, organic matter, soil water, soil air, and living organisms. Inorganic, also known as mineral matter, represents small rock fragments of the soil. It forms the bulk of about 45% of total volume of the soil. It consists of gravel, stones, sand, silt, and clay. Mineral matter or inorganic matter is the main source of plant nutrients such as nitrogen, calcium, iron, magnesium, etc. Mineral or inorganic matter represents the home or habitat of all soil-living organisms. It holds water and air for both plant and animal activities. Mineral or inorganic matter has moderating effect on soil temperature. It also affects soil porosity. Talking about organic matter. Organic matter represents the remains of the decomposition of plants and animals. It is about 5% of the total volume of the soil. Leaves, roots of plants, the residue of crops, animal dung, etc., when deposited on the soil, decay to form a dark color on the upper part of the soil, known as organic matter or humus. The organic matter is very rich in plant nutrients. It is the habitat of many soil microorganisms. It also prevents soil erosion and evaporation of soil water. It prevents leaching in soil where it is present in adequate amount. It allows for good drainage and holds water in the soil for plant use. Organic matter improves the structure of the soil by binding the particles of quartz textured soil together. Organic matter moderates the soil temperature, which stimulates good development and growth of roots. It improves soil aeration, and it is responsible for the loose, friable condition of loamy soil. The soil water refers to the water in the soil, which is usually obtained either from rain or irrigation. Water represents 25% of the total volume of the soil. It is usually found in the soil within the pore spaces. When water is too much in the soil, that is when it covers the soil surface, the soil is said to be waterlogged. A waterlogged soil can, however, be improved by drainage to make such soil more productive. On the other hand, a situation where there is lack of water in the soil for a very long time, to the extent that plants cannot absorb water even when supplied again, results in a condition called permanent wilting point. The plant at this stage can die. Talking about the soil water. There are 4 major types of soil water, which include the hygroscopic water, the field capacity, the capillary water, and the gravitational water. The hygroscopic water is water that is tightly held by the soil particles such that it is never available to the plant. The field capacity is a type of water left in the soil after excess water has been drained off, following heavy rainfall. This water is available to the plant. The capillary water is the water which rises above the water table in the soil and is held in the fine and medium pores of soil particles by surface tension. Capillary water is easily available to plants. The gravitational water is the water which can drain from the soil under the influence of gravity. It is available to plants but is often pulled down beyond the reach of the roots. The soil air. The soil air refers to the gases present in the soil pores found between the soil particles. The amount of soil air varies depending on the amount of soil water, the sizes of the pore spaces, the type of soil, and the amount of living organisms in the soil. The percentage of air is about 25% of the total volume of the soil. The ability of air to circulate freely in the soil is called aeration. Soil air, especially oxygen, is necessary for the growth and development of plants. Excess of carbon dioxide in soil, when combined with water, can cause acidity and aid weathering of rocks. Oxygen in the soil promotes easy germination of seeds. Soil air is needed in soil reactions, particularly carbon and nitrogen cycles. Some plant disease organisms, such as fusarium, which causes damping off, are favored by poor erosion. Soil organisms require oxygen for respiration. Living organisms. Living organisms refer to plants and animals which inhabit the soil. They range from microscopic organisms to bigger organisms. Some are beneficial while others are harmful to crops and livestock. The most commonly found groups of soil organisms include the bacteria, the virus, the nematode, the fungi, the insects, for example, the soldier ants, the termites, etc. Living organisms help to improve the erosion of the soil. They also help to improve the soil structure and granulation. They help to decompose organic materials in the soil to form humus. They improve soil water percolation or drainage. Some organisms like bacteria help to fix nutrients into the soil. Some soil microorganisms produce acidic materials which help to break down rocks. Soil types. Soil is defined as the uppermost layer of the earth crust which provides support and nutrients for plant growth. There are three main types of soil, which are the sandy soil, the clay soil, and the loamy soil. The sandy soil is said to be sandy if the proportion of sand particles in a sample of the soil is very high. The sandy soil is coarse, grained, and gritty in nature. It is loose with large pore spaces. It absorbs and loses water easily. The sandy soil is not sticky when wet, and it is well aerated with low water holding capacity. The clay soil is said to be clayey if the proportion of clay in a sample of the soil is high. The clay is fine, powdery, and smooth when dry. They are sticky and moldy when wet. They are tightly bound with little pore spaces. Then they have granular structure which does not lose water easily. They are poorly aerated with high water holding capacity. The loamy soil here is a mixture of sand and clay particles with a high proportion of organic matter. The loamy soil is moist, loose, with moderate sized pore spaces. The structure of the loamy soil breaks easily and friable when dry. The loamy soil has non-powdery and non-sticky texture. It can be easily worked on or cultivated. It contains lots of organic matter and it does not support erosion and water logging.